Colorado High School Activities Association Baseball is on B106 and B106.com this afternoon from Englewood High School. It's a Colorado 7 League clash as the Colorado 7 League champion. Fort Morgan Mustangs take on the Englewood Pirates. I'm John Beltran as the Mustangs are playing their regular season road finale. These two teams will meet tomorrow morning at 10:30 in Fort Morgan on B106 and B106.com. The Mustangs with a 17-0 record, 10-0 in league play, and Englewood having a winning season, 8-5-1 overall, 5-4 in the Colorado 7. We'll get to the starting lineup here momentarily for the Mustangs as the final regular season start of David Mendez on the hill, who, of course, has been outstanding. We'll run through his numbers coming up here during the bottom of the first inning. Yeah, we'll try to gain access to those that we had earlier. But, of course, Mendez's ERA is a minuscule one, under half a run this year, and he will get the start for Fort Morgan coming up this afternoon. Englewood is dressed in their white uniforms with the blue numerals and the blue socks and the black caps. The Mustangs in their gray uniforms with the maroon numerals. Mustang starting lineup brought to you by Blowdorn Lumber, where you can browse the virtual showroom at blowdornlumber.com, view the current sales flyer, complete a credit application, and shop the entire inventory online. Doesn't matter if you're a contractor or painting your kitchen at Blowdorn Lumber, you'll get the same friendly service and advice to make your job easier. Friendly place, serious service. That's Blowdorn Lumber. Batting first for the Mustangs is the pitcher David Mendez. Shortstop Ulysses Hernandez hits second. Catcher James Martins bats third. The left fielder is the cleanup hitter Nate Alexander. Batting fifth is the first baseman Wes Anderson. Miguel Franco, the third baseman, hits sixth. The DH is Jarrett Bohm. He'll bat seventh. Batting eighth is the right fielder Jacob Frick. And Sergio Baquerra, the center fielder, will be hitting ninth. Defensively for Englewood, Tyler Harris is at first. Jeff Mackelberg at second. Conrad Frolshagen is at third. The shortstop is Tristan Cisneros. Around the outfield, Brian Schock is in left. Center fielder Mario Vega. In right field is Jacob Hellman. Behind the plate, Gerardo Gutierrez. And Eric Almanzar is on the mound, a left-hander. Almanzar throwing to David Mendez. Opening pitch brought to you by Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance with two locations in Brush and Fort Morgan. Ingmeyer Phillips can help you with your home, car, health, or life insurance questions or needs. Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance. And an all-grass field with the exception, of course, right around the bases where they have the clay, and that pitch is down and in. 1 ball and no strikes to David Mendez. The left-hander, Almanzar, winds, and that pitch is right over the plate for a strike with a fastball. The count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, you've got the clay right around the bases, and everything else is grass, the pitch. And that breaking ball is down and into the screen. Ball 2, strike 1. Mustangs have not played in a week when they defeated Fort Lupton on the road 20-9. They were supposed to play on Wednesday. That game got snowed out, and again, will be made up tomorrow. 2-1 pitch, and that fastball is upstairs. 3 balls and 1 strike to David Mendez. Mendez stepping in. And the 3-1 offering, and that's very high, and Mendez walks on 5 pitches. That'll bring up Ulysses Hernandez, who's been hitting in the 500 range all year. And the Mustangs have done a good job of mixing in some power hitting with some small ball as well. Let's see what head coach Josh Langford has in store for the Mustangs. Mendez with about a 2.5-step lead with the left-hander. Almanzar, the stretch. And the offering, and that's very high. Throw back to first, Mendez back in diving. 1 ball and no strikes. Almanzar is trying to find his rhythm here in the strike zone. He's thrown 6 pitches, only 1 for a strike so far. The 1-0 to Ulysses. Swung on and popped into center field. Mario Vega is right there. Now he can't find the ball, and it's over his head. Mendez to second. He's headed towards third, and the throw will not be made. That'll just be a pop fly single. It looked like Vega must have just lost the ball in the sun. It was a routine fly ball, and the Mustangs have runners at the corners, nobody out for James Martins. Martins the big power stick for Fort Morgan. The stretch. Almanzar delivers. Swung on and fouled back. Count is at 0-1 on a gorgeous day in Englewood. Temperature in the 60s. A little bit of a wind as well. First and third with nobody out at the top of the first. The Mustangs have Mendez at third. He walked. A pop fly single for Ulysses Hernandez. Throw back to first. Hernandez takes off for second, and then the ball gets by the first baseman, Harris. It's all the way towards the right field fence there in foul territory. Mendez scores, and the third is Hernandez. The Mustangs lead 1-0. That looked like it was catchable by Harris. It'll be an E on the first baseman unofficially. So Martin's back in there with a no-ball, one-strike count. And Fort Morgan hasn't done anything as of yet. They've scored a run, but Englewood helping them out. Almanzar will wind up, and the pitch, and that is low and away. The count is level at 1-1 strike. Of course, the Mustangs throwing their number one in Mendez. The pitch, and that breaking ball is in the dirt. 2-1 strike. Look to the team at Valley View Villa for rehab, short-term or long-term care needs. 815 Fremont, or call them 867-8261. Very nice facility here in Englewood. 390 straight away. You got to hit it a long way. Swung on, driven down the line where it's 340, and that's going to take one hop and go over the wall. It'll be an automatic double for James Martins, driving in Ulysses Hernandez, and the Mustangs lead 2-0 in the top of the first inning. And that'll bring up Nate Alexander.
Number 1, Alexander.
Alexander, another right-handed hitter for Fort Morgan. Nice sizable lead at second for Martins. Almanzar stretches, and the offering. Swung on and fisted into shallow center field. That ball's going to drop for a base hit. A late jump by Martins. He's going to be held up as Vega gets the ball back in. The Mustangs have 3 hits in the inning, but 2 of them were just little loopers. First and third now for Wes Anderson, the left-handed hitting first baseman.
The first baseman, number 22, Wes Anderson.
So lefty against lefty with nobody out in the top of the first inning. An error and a double by James Martins that plated the runs. Throw back to first, and back in standing is Alexander. Gutierrez lays down the sign, and the throw to first, runner takes off for second, and no throw will be made. Shortstop Cisneros was going to cover, but there's a straight-up stolen base there for Nate Alexander. So the Mustangs are not reading Almanzar really well, but they've benefited from the fact that they've had some good leads and just taken off. So out of the windup, here's the wind and pitch, and that is low and away. 1 and no strikes to the Fort Morgan first baseman, Wes Anderson. 2-0. 2 in scoring position with nobody out in the top of the first. Hitting with an open stance. Here's the wind and the 1-0, and that is inside. Barely missed the corner. 2 and no strikes. Got 360 in the gaps as well here. Big field in Englewood. 2-0 offering. Swung on, tapped right off of the right foot of Anderson. It's 2-1. And he's certainly hurting out there up the first base line, foul territory, but he's going to settle back into the box. Yeah, he better take his time because that one certainly hurts. That's why a lot of guys in the majors, they wear that ankle protector off of that front foot. But, of course, at the high school level, you rarely see that. Anderson basically just has a sock and some skin, and that's it. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 on, nobody out, 2 in. At the top of the first inning, B&B Appliance at 502 Ensign in Fort Morgan can help you save water, energy, and the environment without sacrificing quality and performance. Change for the better, B&B Appliance. So Anderson back in the box. With 2 balls and 1 strike against the left-hander, Eric Almanzar. Here's the wind and offering. Swung on and lifted into shallow left field. That ball's going to drop for a base hit, or it's going to be caught. What a great catch out there. Martins did not tag up. He's got to head to third, and Martins is going to get back to third barely. Boy, a tremendous catch by Brian Schock. I thought that ball was going to drop, but Schock made a beautiful diving play, robbing Anderson of a base hit. And there's 1 down. It's Missy Franco. Here's the winds and offering. Swung on and fisted in the air to shallow right field. That ball should drop. It does for a base hit. Martins is going to score. Alexander around third. The throw towards the plate is up the first base side. Franco is headed to second. There won't be a throw. It's a 2-run single. And Fort Morgan leads by a score of 4-0. And there is no doubt the Mustangs are really not hitting the ball that well. Just a bunch of bloops. They did have 1 line drive by Martins. But a lot of things that are just blooping in front of the outfielders.
Number 25.
Here's Sherrod Bohm. Bohm, the right-handed hitting DH. So the Mustangs have scored on an error, an RBI double from Martins, and a 2-run bloop single by Franco, the pitch. And that is over the plate for a strike at the knees. It's 0-1. The Mustangs really haven't worked this starting pitcher too much. He's only thrown 18 pitches, and this is the 7th batter, averaging just about 2.5 pitches per batter. The stretch, Franco with the lead, and the offering. Swag, and a miss through the fastball right by him. It's 0-2. To Jared Bohm. On deck is Jacob Frick. Bohm down in the count. The left-hander, Almanzar, delivers, and the breaking ball is fouled at the plate. Count remains at no balls and 2 strikes. Mustangs with an early 4-0 lead, and considering the way Mendez has pitched this year, that's going to be more than enough, but you certainly got to bring your A game. The stretch, Gutierrez setting up on the outside corner of the pitch. That is outside. A little bit high with that fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Again, Gutierrez lays down the sign, the stretch by Almanzar. And the offering runner going. Curveball is popped up in the infield. Franco's going to have to go back. The third baseman, Drolshagen, calls for it, makes the 2-handed catch. And there's 2 down. Two down for Jacob Frick. Mustang right fielder in his last game. Hit a big 2-run homer to get the Mustangs going. In fact, the Mustangs last Friday had 3 2-run homers against Fort Lupton in the 20-9 victory. Almanzar delivers. Fastball is blocked nicely by Gutierrez. 1 ball, no strikes. We'll find out on Wednesday if the Mustangs will be hosting, which you would assume they would, especially if they can run the table this season for one of those 8-14 district tournaments out of Class 4A. Franco with about a 5-step lead out there, the stretch. And the offering, swung on and driven into left field, way back towards the track, and that ball is going to be off the bottom of the fence and then over the wall. Or is that a home run? Let's see. I think it was in play. It's another automatic double or a ground rule double on that long fly ball as Brian Schock went towards the track. It's now 5-0 as Jacob Frick delivers with 2 down. Well, he hit that a long way. And that'll bring up Sergio Baquera.
Number 19, Sergio Baquera.
Out of the 9 spots of the Mustangs batting the entire lineup here in the first inning. Opens up that stance, the stretch, and the offering, and that is inside. The ball hit him. So Baquera is on via the hit by pitch. First and second, David Mendez walked to begin the game. The Mustangs now up 5-0. A couple of RBI ground rule doubles by James Barnes and Jacob Frick. So Mendez is the 10th hitter of the inning. Frick at second. Baquera at first, the stretch. And the offering. And that is a strike, belt high. No balls and 1 strike. Almanzad looks like he's got a 3-pitch repertoire. Breaking ball, a fastball, and a little bit of an off-speed pitch or a changeup. Again, the runners take their leads, and the offering. Swung on and grounded left side. Trollshagen is going to step on the bag for the force out. And the inning is over, but the Mustangs pick up 5 runs. There was an error. We head to the bottom of the first inning. Fort Morgan 5, Englewood coming to bat on B106 and B106.com. The Mustangs scored 5 runs on 5 hits in the opening frame. Here's the Englewood starting lineup. Eric Almanzad, the pitcher, bats first. Tristan Cisneros, the shortstop, hits second. Center fielder Mario Vega bats third. The catcher is the cleanup hitter, Gerardo Gutierrez. Batting fifth, the first baseman, Tyler Harris. Jeff Mackelberg at second, hits sixth. Conrad Rolshagen, the third baseman, at seventh. Left field, Brian Schock hits eighth, and Jacob Hellman, the right fielder, bats ninth. For the Mustangs defensively, Wes Anderson's at first. The second baseman is Tony Zwedzig. Over at third is Misiel Franco. Ulysses Hernandez at short. Around the outfield, Nate Alexander's in left. Sergio Baquera in center. And right is Jacob Frick. Behind the plate is James Martins. And David Mendez, one of the top pitchers in 4A this season, is on the mound for Fort Morgan. Eric Almanzad is hitting for the left side. The wind by Mendez and the pitch. And the fastball is a strike on the inside corner at the knees. Mendez, who likes to utilize the left side of the rubber. 0-1. Swung on and fisted towards center field. That's going to drop for a base hit right in front of Sergio Baquera. And we know that Mendez has flirted with no hitters this year and thrown one already. He's given up a base hit to Almanzad. That'll bring up Tristan Cisneros. Right-handed hitting shortstop for Englewood. Short lead for Almanzad. 2-step lead. The pitch. Swag, and I'm missing a fastball. Belt high, it's 0-1. Mustangs scored on an error. An RBI double from James Martins. 2-run single by Misiel Franco. And another run-scoring double by Jacob Frick. Runner going. The breaking ball is inside. The throw to second on a hop, and it's an easy stolen base as the ball skips into center field. Baquera will not throw to third, and both teams have committed an error here in the first inning. That'll be a stolen base by Almanzad. He advances to third on the air by the catcher Martins. So 1 ball, 1 strike. And the infield playing in despite a 5-run lead. Line in the pitch. Swag and a miss and another fastball belt high. The count is at 1-2. And Mendez has given up very, very few runs this year. Cisneros with an open stance. 1-2. Swung on and popped up into foul territory on the right side. Mendez, the pitcher, calls for it, makes the catch along the first base line. And there's 1 down. 1 down for Mario Vega, the center fielder.
Number 5, Mario Vega.
Vega had some misfortune in the first inning on a fly ball hit by Ulysses Hernandez. He just lost it completely, and it dropped behind him for a base hit. The offering. Breaking ball swung on and missed. The pitch was in the dirt. No balls and 1 strike. And plenty of space here between the catcher and the backstop. Any wild pitch should easily score a runner unless the ball barely gets away. There's the line by Mendez, and the 0-1. Ooh, that ball hit him in the back. So now both teams also have a hit batsman in the early going. That'll bring up Gerardo Gutierrez, the catcher hitting for the right side. You don't have to travel out of town to receive the best and most advanced hearing health care. Visit Platte Valley Hearing Center, 409 East Platte Avenue in Fort Morgan. It's Platte Valley Hearing Center. So runners at the corners for the Pirates, trailing 5-0 in the bottom of the first inning at home against the 17-0 Fort Morgan Mustangs. The pitch way outside towards the screen, and the ball ricochets towards Martins. However, scoring on the play is going to be Eric Almanzar. To second as Mario Vega, the wild pitch. It's now 5-1. And another runner in scoring position, and Mendez still not comfortable on the mound, at least here in the first inning. He's already hit a batter in a wild pitch, which is totally uncharacteristic of what he's capable of and what he's done all season. Martins lays down the sign, the stretch, looks back, and the offering. Fastball is over but low. 2 balls and no strikes. Well, the Mustangs have a lot of Friday games where they scored runs, 20-9 against Fort Lupton, 21-4 against Skyview, 17-0 against Vista Peak Step-Off. But Mendez has not started any of those games. He is starting on a Friday today. Normally the Mustangs with a Wednesday-Friday league schedule. So he gets the start today instead of tomorrow. The pitch, and the breaking ball is inside. 3-0 to Gutierrez. On deck is Tyler Harris. So the Mustangs up 5-1 in the bottom of the first inning. And the offering. Swung on and grounded to third. To his left is Franco. Nice snag. Throws to first. And Anderson off the bag, but applies the tag. Well, I had it as a 3-0 count. Surprised he swung at that pitch, but nonetheless, there are 2 down, and the runner had to hold. Harris, another right-handed hitter. Let's see if that settles down Mendez a little bit after giving up the early run. Barnes lays down the sign. Looking back, and the offering, and the breaking ball is right there for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. Vega off of second. Got a 4-step lead. Swedzik cheating towards the bag. Now he's back in his natural position. Swag and a miss on a fastball that was tailing in. 0-2 to Tyler Harris. With 1 on and 2 down in the first inning. Stretched by Mendez, who's looking for his first strikeout. And the pitch, and there it is, a fastball above the belt. And the inning is over. Englewood scores a run, and they do it on 1 hit, 1 error, and a man left. We go to the second inning. Fort Morgan 5, Englewood 1 on B106 and B106.com. John Beltran back at Englewood High School as we head to the second inning. Fort Morgan 5, Englewood 1. Eric Almanzar will face the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. And he wasn't that ineffective in the first inning. The Mustangs had 3 bloop hits. Only 2 really hard-hit balls. The double by Martins driving in a run, and another one by Jacob Frick. It'll be Ulysses Hernandez, James Martins, and Nate Alexander, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters against the left-hander, who threw 27 pitches in the opening frame. Wine and offering, and that is down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Almanzar certainly wants to limit his number of pitches and not get to as many as 50 by the end of this second inning. Here's the Wine, 1-0. Swung on, driven on the ground into left field. Well, that was towards the shortstop, Cisneros. A very hard-hit ball. And let's see how that one is scored. That's a base hit for Ulysses Hernandez. That'll bring up James Martins. Martins with a ground rule double, driving in a run in the opening frame. The Mustangs now with their 6th hit of the game, the stretch, short lead at first. The left-hander delivers, and that's upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Your one-stop center for projects around your home office or yard is Ackley Building Center, 1402 Mill Street in Brush. They carry appliances. That's Ackley Building Center. Mustangs have a couple of stolen bases, but they were going when they should have gone back, and that time Hernandez does go back on the throw to first. 1 ball and no strikes, and the Mustang catcher. Almanzar gets the sign from Gutierrez. Long pause. Runner goes, and that's upstairs. No throw. Stolen base for Ulysses. So he's at second with nobody out as the Mustangs are trying to get the run back that they relinquished in the bottom of the first inning. Fort Morgan 5, Englewood 1. Here in the top of the second. The stretch. Barnes waits the pitch. That's up and away again. 3 balls and no strikes to the Fort Morgan right-handed hitting catcher, James Barnes. On deck is Alexander. Let's see if Barnes takes on the 3-0, and he does. It's way outside, and he walks, and that'll bring up Alexander, who blooped the single into center his first time up. And he's now up there with 2 on and nobody out.
Number 1, Alexander.
And plenty of area on this very big field. Almanzar stretches with the runners taking their leads. And the pitch squaring to bunt. That's up and away with a breaking ball. 1 ball and no strikes. That was the second walk issued by Eric Almanzar. The stretch. And the offering squaring to bunt and lays it down to the third base side. That's a nice one. Conrad Groshagen picks it up, throws to first, and that is in time. Excellent play by the Englewood third baseman. The sacrifice is successful, advancing Ulysses to third and Martins to second. And there's 1 down here at the top of the second inning.
First baseman, number 22, Wes Anderson.
Anderson popped to left on an excellent play by Brian Schock in the first inning. Another lefty against lefty matchup, the only one that the Mustangs will see. The pitch swung on and driven into deep right field. That one's going to go all the way towards the fence. 2 runs will score easily. That's off the top of the fence. Anderson is around first. He's into second. He's going to go for third, and no throw will be made. And Anderson is in there with a 2-run triple, and the Mustangs now lead 7-1. And he drove that a long way. There's no doubt about that. Nothing that Jacob Hellman, the right fielder, could do. That'll bring up Misial Franco. Had a 2-run bloop single in the opening frame.
Number 23, Misial Franco.
Stubbs Gas and Oil on I-76 and Highway 39 in Wiggins. Don't delay and get there to see why convenience is Stubbs' middle name. The pitch. That's down and away with a fastball by Almanzar. 1 ball and no strikes. 5 in the first. 2 so far here in the second for Fort Morgan. Infield playing halfway for Englewood. Now Groshagen in at third. Swung on and driven in the air to center field. Vegas way back. Still going back. Now he settles under it. Makes the one-handed catch. Tagging up at third is Anderson. And he will score the sac fly by Franco, his third RBI. Fort Morgan has 3 runs across in the second. They now lead 8-1. And that'll send up Jared Bohm.
Number 25, Jared Bohm.
His first time, Bohm popped to the third baseman, Groshagen. The left-hander delivers, and the breaking ball is a beauty right there over the middle of the plate for a strike at the knees. No balls and 1 strike. Northeast Colorado's locally owned hometown savings and loan, Equitable Savings and Loan in Fort Morgan and Brush. 0-1. Curveball is outside, and the count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 down, and the base is empty. In the top of the second inning, Fort Morgan 8, Englewood 1. Bohm awaits the 1 ball One-strike pitch, and he swings and misses. A late swing at that one. 1-2. Yeah, he totally misread that pitch. Almanza threw it right by him. And the 1-2 offering. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball down and in. And the Mustangs are done in the top of the second inning. 3 runs on 2 hits. No errors, nobody left. An inning and a half complete. Fort Morgan 8, Englewood 1 on B106 and B106.com. We head to the bottom of the second inning in Englewood. And the Mustangs of Fort Morgan lead the Pirates 8-1. And David Mendez in this inning will contend with the 6, 7, and 8 hitters, starting with Jeff Mackelberg, a right-handed hitter for Englewood. Yeah, a little bit of a struggle for Mendez in the first inning. Gave up a leadoff hit, hit a batter, threw a wild pitch, scoring the only run for Englewood. The offering, swing and a miss through the fastball right by Mackelberg. It's 0-1. Mendez with 15 pitches in the opening frame, 10 strikes and 5 balls. 0-1 offering. Fastball is just inside. The count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike. Mustangs have 7 hits in the game so far, Englewood with 1. And the breaking ball is a strike on the outer half at the knees, and the count goes to 1-2. To Jeff Mackelberg. And the offering. Swing and a miss and another curveball, and there's one down in the bottom of the second inning. Strikeout number 2 for David Mendez. And that'll bring up Conrad Grolshagen.
Number 24, Conrad Grolshagen.
So Grolshagen steps in. A pitch, and the breaking ball is upstairs. Oh, strike. Got him letter high. It's 0-1 to Grolshagen. With 1 out and the bases empty in the bottom of the second inning, Fort Morgan 8, Englewood 1. And the offering. Curveball is a strike again. Yeah, Grolshagen certainly is a tall right-handed hitter, so Mendez getting the benefit of those pitches. 0-2. Here's the wind and pitch. And the breaking ball swung on and missed on the outer half. And there's 2 down. 3rd consecutive strikeout for David Mendez.
The left fielder, number 3, Brian Schrock.
Here's Brian Schock stepping in. So here's Schrock, the pitch, off the glove to the screen to Brian Schrock. 1 ball and no strikes. Schrock made a tremendous play in left field, robbing Anderson of a base hit, and that's down and away to Schrock. 2 balls and no strikes. With the bases empty, 2 down in the bottom of the second inning, Fort Morgan leads Englewood 8-1. Brush Beatniggers lead 6-2 in the 7th inning in Kersey against Platte Valley. Here's the wind and the offering, and that is over but low to Schrock, 3-0. Three balls and no strikes. Here's the wind and pitch, and that is over for a strike on the inside corner at the knees. It's 3-1. 3 balls and 1 strike. Barnes lays down the sign. Here's the wind and pitch. Swung on and grounded to short. To his left is Hernandez. He fobbles it. He picks it up. He throws to first, and that will be late. And that's an error on the shortstop, Ulysses Hernandez, as Schrock reaches to extend the inning. Second error of the game by the Mustangs. And here's Jacob Hellman. Hitting from the right side, the 9th hitter in this lineup. Yeah, this grass looks like it's very thinly cut. The ball really travels extremely fast on the ground. The stretch. Short lead at first, the pitch. and the breaking ball is fouled behind the plate. The count is an 0-1 to Hellman. Mendez gets the sign from James Martins. Throw back to first, and a close play, but back in diving is Schrock. No balls and one strike. Throw back to first again. Back in standing is Schrock that time. Hellman back in the box. The stretch, very short lead. Mendez comes home. The fastball is high. And the count is level at 1 ball, 1 strike. Whether you're in the market to purchase a new or pre-owned vehicle, Ehrlich Toyota East at 1209 Main Street in Fort Morgan will professionally fit you into the car or truck of your choice. Serving all of Northeast Colorado, Ehrlich Toyota East. Fastball a strike just above the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the right-handed hitting right fielder for Englewood, Jacob Hellman. 2 down, 1 on in the bottom of the second inning. Fort Morgan with a 7-run advantage. The stretch by Mendez. Martin setting up in the outside corner, and that breaking ball is off his glove to the screen. To second is Schrock. That ball could have been handled. We'll call it a wild pitch nonetheless. I don't think Martins might have thought it was a wild pitch because he could have looked it in a little bit better. Nonetheless, 2 balls, 2 strikes to Jacob Hellman, the stretch. And the offering. Swing and a miss and a fastball at the letters. And the inning is over. No runs, no hits, 1 error. And a man left. 2 complete from Englewood. Fort Morgan 8. Englewood 1. This is B106 and B106.com. We head to the 3rd inning in Englewood. John Beltran with you. The Mustangs lead Englewood 8-1. 8-9-1 for Eric Almanzad against this Mustang lineup. Jacob Frick, Sergio Paquerra, and David Mendez. Mustangs scored 5 in the first and 3 in the second. Frick had an RBI double. That extended the Mustang lead in the first inning. So here is Frick. Mustangs have hit quite a few doubles in this game, 3 to be exact. So the first pitch of the 3rd inning to be delivered by the left-hander Almanzad is swung on and drilled into left field for a base hit. Frick is now 2 for 2 in the game, and the ball gets by the left fielder Schrock, and to second is Frick. He's in there sliding. It's a single and an error on the left fielder, and the Mustangs have a runner in scoring position on the first pitch here in the 3rd inning. And again, it's a fast infield and outfield. You got to be really careful when you play the ball. Sergio Paquerra was hit by a pitch in the opening frame when the Mustangs sent 10 to the plate. The stretch by Almanzad, the offering, and he waved at it on that breaking ball. Let's see, looked like he waved at it. But umpire's not saying anything now. It looks like they're saying no, but it clearly from this vantage point he swung. Let's see if there's an appeal there. Apparently it's 1 ball and no strikes. Wow. And now they're going to appeal. Well, apparently the field umpire saw something totally different than what some of the fans and what I saw up here. The stretch. And the offering. And that changeup is up and away. 2 balls and no strikes. To Sergio Paquerra. 8-1 Fort Morgan. They've had the leadoff man on each of the first 3 innings, and it's paid off. Paquerra in a hitter's count. The stretch, that's a big lead, and just turning, no throw. Mackelberg was towards the bag, then went back to his natural position. Him and Cisneros going back and forth there. 2 balls and no strikes. And Gutierrez is going to relay the signs once again from behind the plate. Don't let finances stand in your way of pursuing your college education. Morgan Community College. You can visit MCC online at morgancc.edu. Swung on and fisted into right field for a base hit over the leaping first baseman Harris. Around third is Frick, and he will score on the RBI single by Paquerra. The Mustangs now lead 9-1. And again, that ball was just fisted out there, but in the right spot.
Number 6, David.
No matter what age you are at MCC, you can imagine your possibilities, believe in yourself, and achieve your goal. Morgan Community College. Mendez hitting for the third time in as many innings. He's walked and hit into a fielder's choice. He's 0 for 1. The stretch. And the pitch. And the breaking ball is in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes. To David Mendez. Yeah, the Mustangs could take a 10-run lead after 5 innings. This game would be an abbreviated one. Short lead, the offering. Upstairs, throw back to first, and back in standing is Paquerra. Yeah, certainly control issues with Eric Almanzad. 24 balls, 24 strikes. And down to the count, 2 balls and no strikes to Mendez. The stretch. And the offering. Swung on and fouled off to the right. Count is at 2-1. Committed to serving those in production ag. Premier Farm Credit is the gold standard in ag lending. 2-1 to Mendez. 1 in, 1 on, nobody out in the third. The stretch. And the pitch. Swung on and driven to center field. And to his left is Vega, and he makes the one-handed catch. Retreating to first is Paquerra for the first out of the third inning. Hit hard by Mendez, but Vega makes the play. 1 down for Ulysses Hernandez. Hernandez has been pretty fortunate. He's 2 for 2, but hit a fly ball that Vega didn't see, and then hit a one-hopper towards Cisneros, who couldn't play it. And those are Ulysses' 2 hits in the game. The Mustangs have 9 as a team. Both teams have committed 2 errors. Runner goes way outside. The throw to second is going to be late. An easy stolen base for Paquerra. And Fort Morgan with another runner in scoring position. They have scored in each of the first 3 innings. 1 ball and no strikes to Yuli. Gutierrez lays down the sign. And Almanzad looks back, the pitch, and that skips to the screen. The wild pitch will send Paquerra to third. Now it's 2 balls and no strikes. Yeah, these teams will play in about a little bit over 17 hours, 10:30 a.m. tomorrow morning on B106 and B106.com, 2-0. And that is over but low. 3-0. Three balls and no strikes. Paquerra off of second. Almanzad delivers. Up and away. It's a walk. The third issued. 1 in each frame by Almanzad as James Martins will now hit. And Martins with a ground rule double, driving in a run, and he's also walked. You see Al Franco, one of the hitting stars so far in this game. He's could be coming up later this inning. He's driven in 3 runs already. Martins drove in the second of the game. Let's see if Uli takes off from first. Got to be careful there. Almanzad's got a tricky move. And the pitch. And that's well outside on the off-speed pitch. It's 1-0. One ball, no strikes. At third is Paquerra. Ulysses at first. Laying down the sign is Gutierrez, the offering. And that is a strike on the inside corner with a tailing fastball. It's 1-1. One ball and 1 strike. 2 on, 1 out, 1 in. The pitch way outside. Now a delayed steal by Yuli. No throw. Mustangs have stolen 4 in this game unofficially. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 on now, both in scoring position. Fort Morgan leads Englewood 9-1, and we'll be uploading the pitch-by-pitch of this game right after the game. We have some connection issues here. The offering, and that's well outside, off the catcher Gutierrez's glove, but not too far to his right. 3-1, and Nate Alexander Looks like he's going to salivate there in the on-deck circle, waiting for perhaps a bases-loaded situation. 3-1 to Martins. And the offering, and that is low. Second consecutive walk issued by Almanzad. 4 in the game. We'll have a visit to the hill with the bases loaded. And Nate Alexander at the plate. And you wonder how much longer they're going to go with him. He's thrown 59 pitches, but only 27 for strikes. And he's issued 4 walks, including the last 2 batters in his third inning. And the Mustangs already lead by a score of 9-1. Now let's see if he remains in the game. Oh, he's going to work here to the next hitter, Nate Alexander. And depending upon what happens with Alexander, that could determine whether Eric Almanzad stays in the game. Alexander is officially 1 for 1. A single and a sacrifice bunt. To his credit. Out of the windup with the bases loaded and 1 out in the third. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Boy, pulled that left foot nowhere close to hitting that ball. It's 0-1. For the best prices and special offers on top quality car parts and accessories, visit Central Auto Parts, 1001 West Pine Avenue in Fort Morgan. Here's the wine and offering, and that curveball is a strike on the inside corner. It's 0-2. Excellent pitch by Almanzad. Now Alexander digs in. He's got to protect. Well, that's a huge lead at second for Hernandez, the offering. And the curveball is a called strike 3. That's a gorgeous pitch, and there's 2 down. Alexander completely fooled. That'll bring up Wes Anderson. It was popped out and delivered a 2-run triple. Bases remain loaded. Baqueta at third, Hernandez at second, Martins at first. And the pitch. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball in the dirt. Might have gotten a piece of it. It's 0-1. All of a sudden, after the visit to the hill, Almanzad is a different pitcher. No balls and 1 strike to the Mustang first baseman. Gutierrez again lays down the sign. Here's the wine and offering. Swing and a miss. Wow, that was a nice changeup. It's 0-2. Yeah, since the visit, 5 strikes and no balls. It is 0-2 to Anderson. And the pitch. Swing and foul tipped at the plate on the slow breaking ball. Count remains at 0-2. With Messial Franco on deck. And the Mustangs holding a 9-1 lead in the third inning. But Anderson down in the count at 0-2. The pitch. Swung on, fisted foul to the screen. Count stays at 0-2. And runners are getting huge leads with Almanzad winding up. Gutierrez lays down the sign, the pitch, and that's outside. Ball 1, strike 2. Leather jackets, T-shirts, and more. Bijou T-Quest, 302 Main Street in Fort Morgan. For all of your sports apparel. The pitch. Curveball called strike 3. Another gorgeous pitch thrown by Eric Almanzad in the inning for Fort Morgan. 1 run on 2 hits. 1 error. And the bases were left loaded. 2.5 complete. It's Fort Morgan 9, Englewood 1 on B106 and B106.com. David Mendez allowed a base hit in the first inning. We head to the second. He's thrown 32 pitches, 21 for strikes. Struck out 4 and walked none. The Mustangs lead Englewood by a score of 9-1. And they will send at the top of the order. Eric Almanzad, Tristan Cisneros, and Mario Vega. Almanzad singled to lead off the first. Hitting from the left side. Mendez delivers. And that ball hit him in the foot on the breaking ball. That's a second hit batsman. And there's no doubt that Mendez is really, despite the 4 strikeouts, not on his A game this afternoon. But luckily, the Mustangs have scored 9 runs, and shouldn't say luckily, they've earned many of those. The stretch and the pitch, and the breaking ball to Cisneros is inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Cisneros at 0 for 1. Almanzar with a 2-step lead, the stretch. And the throw back to first, and fairly close with the back-end diving. Anderson thought he might have had him, but Almanzar was definitely back in. 1 ball and no strikes. Mendez gets the sign. And the offering. Swing and a miss on that breaking ball, tailing away. It's 1-1. Yeah, that is a pitch that he uses at any time. Throw back to first, back in standing is Almanzar. Rush Beediggers defeated the Platte Valley Broncos in Kersey 6-2. They're back on track at 11-6 now. The pitch swung on and popped up in the infield. The second baseman, Swedzik, is going to defer to the shortstop Hernandez to the second base side of the bag. And there's 1 down. One down for Mario Vega, who was hit by a pitch in the first inning. I got a very short lead for Almanzar. The stretch, now about a step and a half. The pitch, fastball is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Barnes lays down the sign, now bigger lead. And the offering. Runner going, swing and a miss. Barnes throws to second. Swedzik applies the tag, but it's late, and he did not make the tag because the ball was thrown up the second base side. Count level at 1-1. Almanzar with a stolen base for Englewood. The 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on in the bottom of the third inning. Fort Morgan 9, Englewood 1. Barnes laying down the sign. The stretch. And the pitch. Oh, I almost threw that one away. 2-1, nowhere close. And Mendez still with 9 more strikes than balls, but definitely looks off. Hasn't started too many games on the road this year. The one he did start against Elizabeth was a 2-hit gem, 1-0. The pitch. Swag, and a miss and a fastball at the knees. The count is level at 2 balls and 2 strikes. To Mario Vega, the right-handed hitting center fielder for Englewood. Almanzar with a lead at second. The stretch. And the offering. Swung on and tapped slowly up the third baseline. Franco charges, gloves, throws to first, and that is going to be up against the right field fence as the ball is thrown wildly. Scoring is Almanzar. The second on the play is going to be Vega. We'll call that a single and an error on a tough throw by Franco, and it's now 9-2 Fort Morgan. Yeah, so the run scores on the air by Franco. There's Gerardo Gutierrez, who grounded out on his first at bat. He's 0 for 1. Stretched by Mendez. And the pitch. Swing and foul back on a tailing fastball. And it's 0-1. Englewood with 2 runs off of Mendez, and that's a rarity, but they got a couple of hits here. 1 in the first, 1 in the third. The stretch and the offering. Swag and a miss on a tailing breaking ball. It's 0-2. But Tyler Harris on deck. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 on, 1 in. Mustangs lead by 7. Gutierrez calls time. Stop, shop, and save with all of your grocery needs and snacks for game time enjoyment. Brush Grocery Cart, 1302 West Edison Street in Brush. Stretch. The look back, the pitch. Breaking ball is just inside. Ball 1, strike 2. At second is Vega. Mendez again waiting for the sign. He accepts. And the pitch. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. Strikeout number 5 for David Mendez. 2 out in the third inning. And there's Tyler Harris. Harris struck out swinging in his first plate appearance. And Mendez, even if he's not completely on his game, will certainly rack up the strikeouts. The pitch, swing, and a miss at a fastball right above the knees. No balls and 1 strike. Barnes lays down the sign. The stretch. And the offering. Swing and fouled at the plate. No balls and 2 strikes. Mustangs out hitting the Pirates 9-2 and leading 9-2. Both teams have committed their share of errors. The Mustangs actually have 3 errors in the game, so head coach Josh Langford can't be happy about that. The pitch. Breaking ball is popped up extremely high in the infield on the left side. Third baseman Franco calls for it, makes the catch. And the inning is over. However, Englewood scores a run on a hit. There was a Mustang error and a man left. 2.5 complete, or checked at 3 complete. It's Fort Morgan 9, Englewood 2 on B106 and B106.com. Let's head to the top of the 4th inning. Fort Morgan 9, Englewood 2 in Englewood. I'm John Beltran, and Eric Almanzar, the left-hander, begins another inning of work, and he's gotten better with every inning. As Fort Morgan scored 5 runs in the first, 3 runs in the second inning, and 1 more in the third. Al Franco will begin the frame, followed by Jared Bohm and Jacob Frick. Franco with 3 RBIs, a 2-run single, and a sac fly. The Mustangs have had the leadoff man on in every inning so far.
Yeah.
4 walks issued by Almanza, but he struck out the last 2 Mustangs in the third. The pitch and the breaking ball is on the inside corner for a strike. No balls and 1 strike to the Mustang third baseman. And the offering. And that ball towards the screen is going to say it didn't clip him. 1 ball, 1 strike to Miguel Franco. Gutierrez lays down the sign and the offering, and that is a strike on the outside corner with a heater. 1-2. Franco, he was awaiting the pitch, but then Gutierrez wanted to relay the signs once again. And the Brush Bee Diggers with a 6-2 victory in Kersey earlier today. The pitch, swing and a miss, 3rd consecutive strikeout by Almanzar. There's 1 down. At one point, he had 4 walks and 1 strikeout. Now he's got 4 walks and 4 strikeouts. And Jared Bohm is one of those strikeout victims. Also popped out. He's 0 for 2. Wine in the pitch. Swung on, fouled off to the right. No balls and 1 strike. Serving you the best coffees, lattes, and smoothies. That's Willow Coffee, Tea, and Smoothies, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. to better serve you and ready to make your favorite specialty drink or offer a sweet treat. Curveball is a strike on the outer half of the knees. Willow Coffee, Tea, and Smoothies, 921 Edison Street in Brush. 0-2 to Bohm. All of a sudden, the Mustangs trying to figure out this left-hander. And the pitch. Breaking ball is grounded to first. Should be an easy play for Harris. He'll step on the bag for the second out. 2 down.
The right fielder, number 24, Jacob Frick.
Jacob Frick has doubled and singled. He doubled in the run in in his first at bat. He will now bat against Almanzar, who's retired the last 4 Mustangs, including 3 by strikeouts. Line and pitch, and that's in the dirt. And again, as I mentioned before the inning, he's gotten better with every inning. Englewood wants to take this to 7 innings. The Mustangs want to limit it to 5. They're up 9-2 in the 4th. Andy 1-0, and that's up and away. 2 balls and no strikes. We're at Harry Wise Field in Englewood. The 2-0 pitch, breaking ball. He waved at it and missed it on a half swing. It's 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike, 2 down. The base is empty in the 4th. Fort Morgan 9, Englewood 2. The pitch, a strike at the knees. Took something off of that. It's 2-2. Yeah, Adamantad looks like a brand new pitcher. There is the 2-2 offering. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball. It's a 1-2-3 inning. The ball was dropped. The throw to first completes the out. And the side is retired. 3.5 complete in Englewood. Fort Morgan 9, Englewood 2 on B106 at B106.com. To the bottom of the 4th we go in Englewood. Fort Morgan 9, Englewood 2. And David Mendez, the Mustang right-hander, will face the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. As Jeff Mackelberg, who struck out swinging his first time, will lead off against Mendez, who's been a little bit iffy for this particular outing. Mendez has struck out 5. And although Mendez has walked none, he has hit 2 batters in the game. And the pitch, the fastball rides inside. 1 ball and no strikes. The right-handed hitting Mackelberg. And the offering. Breaking ball right over the plate at the knees at strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike to Mackelberg. And the pitch. And did he take a swing at it? It rides inside. 2 balls and 1 strike, and that might have been a makeup call unless he got out of the way. Either way, 2 balls and 1 strike. Mustang head coaches, or coaches, period, not happy about that one. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball that was well outside, but a lot of late action there by Mendez on that bender. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mendez looking for his 6th strikeout of the game. There's the winded pitch, and it's just a little bit high and outside. It'll be a payoff pitch to Jeff Mackelberg here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Wind and offering. Inside, he walked him. That'll bring up Conrad Grolshagen, who struck out swinging in his first at bat.
24, Conrad Grolshagen.
Now let's see what Mendez can do with a runner on first base and nobody out in the 4th to stretch. And the offering, and the curveball is over for a strike at the knees. It's 0-1. Fort Morgan scored 5 runs in the first, 3 in the second, and 1 in the third. And Eric Almanstad has retired 5 in a row. The pitch squaring to bunt, and it looked like he waved at her, or did he pull back? And apparently he pulled back on the fastball up and in. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. To the third baseman, Conrad Grolshagen. Mackelberg with a short lead at first. The stretch by Mendez. And the pitch squaring to bunt, and that ball hit him on the left leg. Boy, Mendez looks bad. I'm sorry. 3-hit batsman. That's part of the struggle that Uli Hernandez went through when he hit. But I got to say he actually went for that. No, it didn't look like he tried to bunt that at that ball. Yeah, he's smarting over there. Luckily, I think it hit above the left knee. The Drolshagen at first. Brian Schrock, who reached on an air, will now hit. And home plate umpire conferring with a field umpire to see if Drolshagen was trying to bunt when he got hit by the pitch, which would be a strike, but I don't think he was trying to bunt. It looked like the ball just hit him. Oh, they're going to call that a strike. He's got to get back in the box. Well, yeah, they call that a strike, so he's got to get back in the box, and that'll be 1 ball and 2 strikes. So he was attempting to bunt.
Take care, Stu.
Well, the Mustangs get a little bit of a break there. Yeah, there's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nobody out in the bottom of the 4th. Already a strange start to this inning. So only 2 hit batsmen so far for Mendez, but even still, his stuff is not really as consistent as we've seen at the stretch. And the offering, and the breaking ball is a beauty right there, down the middle for a strike at the knees. And there's 1 down, strikeout number 6, and that's the David Mendez we're used to seeing. Here's Brian Schrock. Mustangs at double play depth. Schrock reached on an air by Yuli in his first at-bat, and the offering swung on tap foul. And it's 0-1. Yeah, when you have a cushion, you can afford to make some mistakes on the hill. Again, the most important starts that Mendez has made this year, he's been flawless. A no-hitter in a 2-1 victory over La Junta, and a 2-hitter in a 1-0 victory at Elizabeth. And the pitch fouled on a ball riding in. Yeah, if Schrock didn't swing at that pitch, it might have hit him. It is 0-2. And Mendez certainly not afraid to work the inside part of the plate. Sometimes a little bit too much. The stretch. And the offering. And did he wave it? That he did on a breaking ball in the dirt. No tag. Needs to be applied by Martin since there's a runner at first. 2 down, strikeout number 7 for Mendez. And here's Jacob Hellman, the right fielder, who's 0 for 1. He struck out swinging his first time up.
Number 9, Jacob Hellman.
Stretch by Mendez. And the offering. That fastball's a beauty. Right over the plate, above the knees at strike 1. Now, once he got that little break there, now Mendez is throwing strikes all over again. The offering. Upstairs, nearly a 2-1 ratio. 41 strikes, now 22 balls. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on, 2 down. 9-2 Fort Morgan over Englewood in the bottom of the 4th inning. The pitch. Oh, that ball hit him. Boy, Mendez hitting another batter. That is 3 now in the game on a riding fastball. And hopefully Hellman's okay. He took that somewhere off the left arm. That'll bring up Eric Almanzar, who singled, and he was hit by a pitch. But he was hit by a breaking ball in the foot. And Martins, Franco, and Anderson to the mound to settle down the right-hander. So Almanzar will step in with 2 on and 2 down. In the bottom of the 4th inning, the Mustangs up by 7. Well, if he comes up with a decent hit here, who knows what could happen. The stretch. Mendez looks back. The pitch. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball down and in. It's 0-1. Now, one thing's for sure, when the district tournament begins next Saturday, Mendez is going to need better stuff than this. At least he's going to have to be more consistent. Throw to second, back in diving is Mackelberg. Because obviously the competition gets that much better when you get to the playoffs. No balls, 1 strike. Mendez gets the sign. And the offering, squaring to bunt. It's up and away with a fastball. Count evens and 1 ball and 1 strike. Hackelberg at second, Hellman at first. Stretch by Mendez. Go back to first and back. How has he got him? Hellman is picked off. And the inning is over after the pickoff of the trail runner. No runs for Englewood, no hits, no errors, and there was a man left. Let's head into the 5th inning. Fort Morgan 9, Englewood 2 on B106 and B106.com. We go to the top of the 5th inning. Fort Morgan leads in Englewood 9-2. 9-1-2 against Eric Almanzar, who's retired 5 in a row. Sergio Paquerra, David Mendez, and Ulises Hernandez. And Almanzar working on a nice string. He's retired the last 5. And he's racked up 4 strikeouts over the last 5 hitters. Paquerra's been hit by a pitch and singled. Here's the wind and pitch. The breaking ball is in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes to the Mustang center fielder. Fort Morgan looking to join Brush as road winners today after the Baytakers defeated Platte Valley 6-2. The pitch, squaring the bunt, lays it out in front of the plate. It'll be picked up by Gutierrez, fires to first, and that is offline. And Paquerra will reach. He certainly had him there. It'll be an error on the catcher, Gutierrez, on a ball that with a good throw would have certainly got him. That'll bring up David Mendez. 3rd error committed by Englewood in the game.
Number 6, David Mendez.
Mendez has walked, hit into a fielder's choice, and lined out. He's 0 for 2. And the throw back to first, back and diving is Paquerra. Mendez with his 4th plate appearance of the game. Almanzar stretches and delivers, and that rides inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Brush's local Napa and Hardware Hanks and Small Engine Repair Shop is hometown auto and hardware at 1305 Edison Street in Brush. 1 ball, no strikes. And the runner goes to second, throw back to first. Now the throw to short, and the tag is applied and out. Is Sergio Paquerra as Cisneros applies the tag. Well, that eventually was going to happen. Caught stealing goes 3-6. And there's 1 down. There's the wind pitch to Mendez, and that's well outside. 2 balls and no strikes. To the Mustang right-hander. With 1 out and the bases empty in the 5th. The pitch. Going away. 3-0. Keeping community banking simple and committed to their community. Morgan Federal Bank member FDIC. Equal housing lender. The pitch. He grooves it in for a strike. Down the middle above the knees, it's 3-1. Mustangs broke out to a 5-0 lead after half an inning. Now up by 7. 3-1. And that's all the way to the screen as it skips in. Mendez walks, the 5th walk issued by Eric Almanzar, and here's Ulises Hernandez. We'll find out if the Mustangs are a little bit more careful on the bases now.
Number 4, Ulises Hernandez.
Because they have not been able to read this left-hander very well. They have the stolen bases, but half of those are when he made the move to first. Yuli in the game is 2 for 2. A couple of singles and a walk. The pitch swung on and lined on 1 hop to the second baseman. Throw to second for 1. No throw to first. Fielder's choice 4-6 as Mackelberg makes the play. There's 2 down. That ball looked like it was hit off the end of the bat or something. It didn't have much power behind it.
Number 8, Jay
Barnes has walked twice, and prior to that, a ground rule double driving in a run. as he bats for Fort Morgan. Stretched by Almanzad. Throw back to first. Back in standing is Uli. Gutierrez lays down the sign. And the pitch. And the breaking ball is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes to James Martins. He's been on base all 3 times. Mustangs have a triple from Wes Anderson and a couple of doubles. Throw back to first, and that is low, but dug out by Harris. Martins back in with a 1 ball, no strike count. 2 down and 1 on in the 5th inning. Fort Morgan 9, Englewood 2. And the pitch, runner going, is upstairs. The throw to second is going to be late. Cisneros got over there late, and Ulysses steals the bag. Pretty good throw over there by Gutierrez. A little bit high, but it was right on line. 2 balls and no strikes to the Mustang catcher. Almanzad gets the sign. Looks back. Step off. Well, Yuli's got a huge lead, but nobody covering. Fort Morgan has 10 hits in a game. The stretch. And the offering. And he waved at that pitch in the dirt. 2 and 1 on the breaking ball. Thrown by Almanzad. But Nate Alexander waiting to hit next. Yuli with a huge lead at second. And the 2-1. Swung on line, foul down the left side. Way out in front of that pitch. Looked like he might have thrown him a changeup. It's 2-2. To James Martins. Bay Diggers had the early 5-0, then 8-0 lead after an inning and a half. Or 8-1, I should say. The stretch. Runner goes, and that's way outside, no throw. Only stolen 2 bags in the inning. Counted 3 balls and 2 strikes. Out of the windup. With a man at third, and the pitch. And that is inside with a breaking ball. Martins walks. Nate Alexander is singled. A sac bunt, then he struck out looking with the bases loaded and 1 down in the last inning, or 2 innings ago. Alexander does have a big home run this year against Elizabeth. A 2-run shot and a 9-4 victory a few Saturdays back. Stretch. And the offering. And that is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. At third is Hernandez. Martins at first with 2 down in the 5th inning. And Gutierrez calls time. And he'll relay the signs once again. Back in the box is Alexander, 1-0, with runners at the corners. And the pitch, swing and a miss out in front. It's 1-1. And again, unless that pitch is somewhere in the inner half, he's not going to hit it. Pulling that left hip. One ball, 1 strike. The offering. That's upstairs. Took something off. A delayed steal. Martins going to second. The throw is going to be low on a hop, and breaking for home is Hernandez. It'll be a stolen base. And also in the back end as Hernandez takes off, and the Mustangs now lead 10-2. Well, they got a cheap run there, but they'll take it. Alexander now ahead in the count at 2-1. The stretch by Almanzad. The pitch. Upstairs. He's struggling again with his control after he was throwing nothing but strikes after the visit to the hill in the third inning. 3-1 to Nate Alexander. Looking in. The offering. Fouled right off the umpire. It's 3-2. And coming up will be the 100th pitch thrown by Eric Almanzad. 51 strikes, 48 balls to this point. And Alexander facing a 3-ball, 2-strike count. And the Mustangs holding an 8-run lead. As this game has slowed down considerably here in the fifth inning. We are at the top of the hour. This is KPRB, Brush, Fort Morgan, Morgan County's B106. I'm John Beltran, live from Harry Wise Field in Englewood. Fort Morgan 10, Englewood 2. We're in the top of the fifth inning. 3-ball, 2-strike pitch to Alexander. Swung on and fouled behind the screen. Remains at 3-2. To the Mustang left fielder. Alexander with a base hit in the game already. Almanzad gets the sign. And the 3-2 runner going. Swung on, hit off the end of the bat on the ground up the first base side. Pitcher picks it up, throws to first, and that is going to be in time to retire Alexander. And the Mustangs are done in inning number 5. However, they score a run, and the Mustangs do it on 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. 4.5 complete. For Morgan 10, Englewood 2 on B106 and B106.com. The Mustangs have some defensive changes as we go to the fifth inning. River Barton is now in left. Austin Cosman at third. And Charlie Rodriguez is the new right fielder against David Mendez, or for David Mendez, I should say, as we begin the bottom of the fifth inning. Back to the top of the lineup. Eric Almanzad, who's singled and been hit by a pitch. Fort Morgan has yet to retire him. Mendez with 66 pitches, 42 strikes. The offering. Down and in with a fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. Mendez has walked only 1, but he has hit 3 batters in the game. The pitch. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Almanzad was up there. And the pickoff play was executed to end the inning. The offering, way outside with a curveball. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Englewood left-hander who's done a nice job after struggling over the first 2 innings. The pitch over the plate for a strike with a fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mendez with 7 strikeouts in the game. Here's the wind and offering. Up and away with a curveball. 3-2. And Mendez delivers. Swung on and fouled off to the left of the curveball. Remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Let the State Farm Insurance Office of Greg Mullen and Brush help you find the best policy to fit your life, home, auto, life, and health. State Farm Insurance, there for you and your family. 842-4555. Fastball is up and away, and Mendez has walked second hitter of the game. There's Tristan Cisneros, who's popped out twice. Hey, he can't be great every time. Mendez has proven that today, that he's been okay, but nothing to write home about. The stretch and the offering. Curveball, swing and a miss. That ball was diving down and away. It's 0-1. Mendez gets the sign. Go back to first, and back in standing is Almanzad, who has not been retired today. 0-1. Pitch to Cisneros. Fastball is hit on the ground slowly on the left side, picked up by Mendez. He sets, throws to first in time. Retired is Cisneros. To second is Almanzar, and there's one down.
The center fielder, number 5.
Mario Vega's been hit by a pitch and singled. So he's 1 for 1. He's yet to be retired today. Barnes lays down the sign. Stretched by Mendez. And the offering. Fastball is up and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Mustangs with 5 in the first, 3 in the second, a run in the third, 1 in the fifth. Englewood with single runs in the first and third. Fastball is high again. 2-0. Yeah, even with Mendez's struggles today, still tough to get base hits off him. He's only allowed 2 hits, including 1 to this hitter. Step off. 2 balls, no strikes. 1 on, 1 out. 10-2, Fort Morgan in the bottom of the 5th inning. The pitch, and the breaking ball is a beauty on the inner half for a strike. Ball 2, strike 1. Mendez accepts the sign, and the offering. Swung on, fouled off to the right. Well out of play, the count goes to 2-2. Teams will play tomorrow morning, 10:30 on B106 and B106.com, and Fort Morgan's regular season finale. And that will be in Fort Morgan. The stretch. Mendez delivers. Swing and a miss and a fastball above the belt. Strikeout number 8. 2 down in the bottom of the 5th inning. And here's Hernando Gutierrez, who's grounded out and struck out swinging.
Number 2. Arnold Gutierrez.
And we'll have a courtesy runner out there. As well for Englewood. As Gutierrez steps in. The stretch. And the offering. Curveball, swing and a miss. No balls and 1 strike. Arns lays down the sign. 0-1. Curveball is lined towards left field. That's going to be a base hit. Rounding third and scoring is the Englewood courtesy runner on the RBI single from Hernando Gutierrez. It's now 10-3. And that leadoff walk comes back to hurt Mendez. Here's Tyler Harris, who was struck out swinging and popped out. He's 0 for 2.
The first baseman, number 17, Tyler Harris.
Miguel Montes will run at first for Englewood. So the Pirates have scored single runs in 3 of the first 5 innings. They stretched by Mendez, and the offering. Swing and a miss on a fastball thigh high, and it's 0-1. Yeah, when that breaking ball doesn't break and it hangs there for the hitter, Gutierrez showed Mendez what he could do with it. The pitch bounces it in. Nice block by James Barnes. It's 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on, 2 down, 1 in. The Mustangs with a 10-3 lead over Englewood in the bottom of the 5th inning. The pitch. Swung on, top foul, out of play. It is 1-2. You don't have to close on your house alone. Northern Colorado Title at 130 West Kiowa and Fort Morgan will provide you with a stress-free closing. That's Northern Colorado Title. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch. Curveball is outside to Tyler Harris. Fort Morgan looking to move to 11-0 in Colorado 7 play. The pitch. Breaking ball high. Throw to second by Martins on a hop. And the ball is off the runner towards the shortstop side. A stolen base for Montez. It's 3-2 to Tyler Harris. And Martins tried to throw that one off his knees, but unsuccessfully. Mendez certainly working up a pitch count in this inning alone. 3-2 to Harris. And the pitch. Swing and a miss on a fastball in the outer half. 2 strikeouts in the inning for David Mendez and 9 in the game. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. We have played 5. Fort Morgan 10, Englewood 3 on B106 and B106.com. John Beltran back at Harry Wise Field in Englewood. Where the Mustangs lead the Englewood Pirates 10-3 as we head to the 6th inning. Left-hander Eric Almanzad has thrown 101 pitches, and he will work to Wes Anderson, Misial Franco, and Jared Bohm in the 6th. Anderson popped out, legged out a 2-run triple, then struck out looking. He is 1 for 3.
The first baseman, number 22, Wes Anderson.
10 runs on 10 hits for Fort Morgan. They've committed 3 errors and left 6 on base, 3 runs, 3 hits, 2 errors for Englewood. They've stranded 5, and the breaking ball is down and away. 1 ball and no strikes to the Mustang first baseman. There's the wide and offering, and that's in the dirt. 2-0. Almanzad with a 2-0, and that's a strike on the outside corner. Thigh high, it's 2 balls and 1 strike. He gets the sign, and the pitch. Swung on and driven into left center field. That one's going to find a gap towards the fence as Anderson is around first, and he's going to be headed into second with a leadoff double here in the 6th inning. Mustangs have come up with their 11th hit of the game. That'll bring up Misial Franco. Check that. Austin Cosman will be the hitter. Cosman will now hit in that number 6 hole.
Now that is number 38, Austin Cosman.
Cosman has come up big this year in his limited opportunities. Came into the game in the last inning. The stretch. Almanzad delivers. And that ball bounces towards the screen. And into third is Anderson on the wild pitch. One ball and no strikes. Mustangs have not had a multiple run inning since the second when they scored 3 runs. 1-0, down and in, with a fastball, 2 balls and no strikes. And perhaps the left-hander's getting a little tired. 107 pitches so far. He has struck out 5 and walked 6 and allowed 11 hits. The pitch, that's way outside, off the glove of the catcher. Anderson will hold up. As the ball ricochets back for the screen, 3-0. And Jared Bohm is on deck, and Fort Morgan generates a rally. They could make this a 6-inning affair. I don't know if Almanzad's going to last this inning. He's got to come back on this hitter. 3 balls and no strikes to Austin Cosman. The pitch, and that's down and away. 7th walk issued in the game. And we're going to have a visit to the hill. Let's see if after 109 pitches, we have a change here in the 6th inning with Fort Morgan leading 10-3, runners at the corners, and there will be a pitching change. The Mustangs 10, the Englewood Pirates 3. It's a 2-minute break. 2 minutes on B106 and B106.com. Mario Vegas, the new pitcher for Englewood. And Eric Almanzad goes to center field, and Kenny Galinas is the new first baseman in place of Tyler Harris. As we are in the top of the 6th inning, Fort Morgan 10, Englewood 3. Wes Anderson's at third. At first is Austin Cosman. And Jared Bohm. 0 for 3. He's popped out, struck out swinging, and grounded out. The runners are still Almanza's responsibility. Vega, another right-hander, or actually the first right-hander for Englewood, the stretch. And the offering. And that's up. That's a strike. Go back to first. Cosman back in diving. Yeah, I thought it was a strike, but no balls and 1 strike on Bohm. Even though that pitch looked a little bit upstairs, but the stretch and the offering, and that is definitely a ball. Inside and high. Let's see if that's 1-1. Oh, we'll see if that the count makes a difference. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runners take their leads. Vega stretches. Vega delivers. And that is outside. Throw back to first. Cosman back in diving. I've got it at 2-1 right now. To Jared Bohm. With Jacob Frick on deck. 10-3 Fort Morgan in the top of the 6th inning in Englewood. Playing in it short is Cisneros, the stretch. And the offering. And that is down and away. It is 3-1 now. One pitch away from loading the bases for Jacob Frick with a monstrous double early in this game to drive in a run. 3-1. Pitch to Bohm. And that rides inside. He walks. And the bases are loaded for Frick. The double is followed by check that, Charlie Rodriguez. Charlie Rodriguez now the hitter for Fort Morgan.
Charlie Rodriguez.
Rodriguez with his first at bat of the game. He took over for Frick there about an inning and a half ago. Well, he's in a spot that he loves here. Bases loaded, no outs in the 6th, and Fort Morgan up by 7. Wind and pitch, and that's in the dirt. Yeah, it just looks like Vega's trying to aim the ball in there, not really raring back. 1 ball and no strikes. And they've got to save their pitching for tomorrow's game, and that's why they're going with Vega here. Wind and the 1-0, and he grooves it in there for a strike at the knees with a fastball. The count is level at 1-1. If the Mustangs score at least 3 and then hold Englewood, they would win this game in 6 innings. The offering, swing and a miss, threw it right by Rodriguez. 1 ball and 2 strikes. On deck is Sergio Paquera. Anderson at third. Cosman at second. Bohm at first. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Threw it right by him. 1 down in the 6th. Bases remain loaded for Sergio Paquera. Paquera was hit by a pitch, singled, and reached in a bunt single. 2 for 2. Mustangs with 11 hits in the game. Wind and offering. Swung on, and that's grounded to short. Could be 2 to second. That's 1. And back to first. That will be late, and the ball skips by the first baseman. Kenny Galinas to the screen. Cosman will score. And the Mustangs now lead by a score of 12-3. 1 RBI. The second run scores in the air. As the fielder's choice goes 6-4. And now, a debate as to whether there was runner's interference there. And if there was, that would be an automatic double play. And instead of getting 2 runs, the Mustangs would get nothing. Yep, they're calling an automatic double play there. Mustangs do not score at all, and Josh Langford now is hot. So that's 2 runs off the board. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's Fort Morgan 10, Englewood 3 on B106 and B106.com. James Martins is the new pitcher as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Joey Schneider now the catcher as the Mustangs lead Englewood 10-3. Yeah, interference was called on that last play. So it's officially a double play, and instead of 2 runs scoring on the ground ball hit by Paqueta, the Mustangs hit nothing. So Martins will now face the 6, 7, and 8 hitters, Jeff Mackelberg, Conrad Grolshagen, and Brian Schrock. Yeah, this has been an even game since that second inning. And Fort Morgan had the 8-1 lead, but of course they have stranded some base runners as well. They have stranded 8. Englewood has stranded 5. So here's Mackelberg, who was 0 for 1. He struck out swinging and walked. Martins has to secure 6 more outs for the Mustangs to win this game. David Mendez now at short. Ulysses Hernandez at second. And that fastball rides inside. One ball and no strikes. Wind and offering in the dirt. 2-0. Martins on the left side of the rubber. Wind in the pitch. Swung on and driven down the left field line. That's going to be trouble towards the corner as River Barton gives chase. Around first is Mackelberg, and he's into second with a leadoff double in the bottom of the 6th inning. There's Conrad Grolshagen. He struck out twice against the starter, David Mendez.
24, Conrad Grolshagen.
So Grolshagen at 0 for 2. Stretch by Martins. Looking back and the offering. And that curveball hit him in the upper back. 4th hit batsman by a Mustang pitcher. After Mendez hit 3, walked 2, and struck out 9 over 5 innings. That'll bring up Brian Schrock. He's reached in an air and struck out swinging. He's 0 for 2.
Number 3, Brian Schrock.
Yeah, the Mustangs are certainly not going to grade out as an A today in any area, even if they win this game handily. The stretch and the pitch. Swing and a miss and a fastball at the letters. No balls and 1 strike to Schrock. Mustangs looking for a double play. Barnes looks back. And the offering. A strike at the knees with a fastball. It's 0-2. 2 on, nobody out in the bottom of the 6th inning. Fort Morgan leads Englewood 10-3. Harry Wise field in Englewood. Harry Wise coached for 3 decades here. The stretch and the offering. And the breaking ball's inside. Surprised he threw that pitch, considering that the last one he threw nailed the hitter. And he's ahead in the count 0-2 against the number 8 hitter. Got to be very careful with that pitch. No balls and 2 strike. Checked out 1-2. Barnes looks back. And the pitch. That curveball is a called strike 3 on the inner half. There's 1 down. One down for Jacob Hellman. Hellman struck out swinging and was hit by a pitch. And it got him pretty good. 1 thrown by Mendez. Stretch. Barnes looks back. And the pitch. Swing and a miss and a fastball away. 0-1. With 2 on and 1 out and 1 strike on Hellman. Barnes looks back. Throw back to first. Well, they had a pickoff a couple of innings ago that way. Not this time. Grolshagen is back. Mackelberg is ahead of him at second. Stretch by Martins. And the pitch rides inside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 2 on. 10-3 Fort Morgan in the bottom of the 6th inning. Barnes gets the sign. Stretch. Looks back twice. And the pitch. That's there for a strike. With a fastball at the knees, it's 1-2. Yeah, once runners reach base against Barnes, he's very, very careful, more methodical, a lot more deliberate. 1-2. And the offering. Curveball as they call it strike 3 on the inner half, and there's 2 down. Second consecutive strikeout for James Martins.
Number 13.
Eric Almanzad is yet to be retired today. A single. He's been hit by a pitch, and he's walked. Now playing center field as he calls time. Now with 2 on and 2 out in the 6th inning. Schneider lays down the sign. Barnes looks back, and the pitch. Well, that curveball is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Buildings by Design and Brush takes pride in the workmanship and quality of their relationships with clients. For a free bid, call Pat Walter, 842-5837. Building today's business. Buildings by Design. 1-0 pitch. Same location with a breaking ball, 2-0. Yeah, Mendez works a lot quicker than Martins. There's a contrast of 2 pitchers in terms of rhythm and pace. 2 balls and no strikes, and the pitch swung on and fouled back. Count moves to 2-1. 11 hits for the Mustangs, 4 for the Pirates. Mustangs have committed 3 errors, the Pirates with 2. Fort Morgan is stranded 8. Englewood is stranded 5. 2-1 to Almanzad. And the offering. Swung on and driven in the air to center field. Paqueta goes back. He settles under it, makes the catch. And the inning is over. No runs for the Englewood Pirates. They do pick up a base hit. No errors and 2 men left. We go to the 7th inning. Fort Morgan 10, Englewood 3 on B106 and B106.com. Let's go to the 7th. Fort Morgan 10, Englewood 3. Mario Vega begins his first full inning of work. It'll be David Mendez to lead off. He is 0 for 2. Walked, hit into a fielder's choice. Lined out and walked again. All that came against the starting pitcher, Eric Almanzad. As the Mustangs are 1 inning away from moving to 18-0. It looked like they were going to win this game going away in 5 innings. When they led 8-1 after an inning and a half, but then everything stopped. Almanzad was pitching a lot better. Englewood scored a couple of more runs, and for the 7-run margin still here in the 7th.
Number 6.
So here's Mendez. Against the right-hander Mario Vega. Line and pitch. High with a fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. This game has officially hit the 2-hour mark. And the 1-0 offering to Mendez. Swung on and lifted towards right center field. That will drop for a base hit. And then the ball takes a side spin. But Hellman throws it back in. The Mustangs have their 12th hit of the game, and Mendez with his first. That'll bring up Ulysses Hernandez, 2 for 3, a couple of singles, a walk, and a fielder's choice. I think Coach Langford wants the Mustangs to pick up some momentum offensively in this inning. They scored just 2 runs over the last 4 innings. after scoring 8 in the first 2. Short lead by Mendez. And Vega delivers way outside with a fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. To Juliet Hernandez. Again, a short lead at first for Mendez. Let's see if he takes off. He does not. Rides inside. Throw back to first. Mendez back in diving. It is 2-0. Yeah, you get to this point of the game, you just root for the pitcher to throw strikes. I have seen so many games go to the 7th inning. When it's a wide margin, then you run into control issues, and the game lags on. 2-0, up and in. 3-0. And that's been part of the issue here for these Englewood Pirates. Closed the book on the starting pitcher, Almanzar. He walked 7 in the game. Through 100. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to have to update this. We'll get an update on that line here coming up momentarily. The pitch. Right over the plate for a strike. It's 3-1. To Ulysses Hernandez. 1 on, nobody out in the 7th. Fort Morgan 10, Englewood 3. And the offering runner going, and that is a strike throw to second, and the ball is not handled out there. It's a stolen base for Mendez. And it is 3-2. 109 pitches for Almanzar. Struck out 5, allowed 11 hits, 7 walks. 3 balls and 2 strikes. To Yuli. Big lead at second, the stretch. And the pitch. Upstairs. And it's a walk. That is the 9th of the game issued by Englewood pitching. 1/3 of those walks has gone to Martins. A ground rule double driving in a run, and he's walked 3 times in the game. Mario Vega looks back with 2 on and nobody out. And the offering. Swung on, driven deep to left field, and going back is struck, and he leaps, and it's over his head. Mendez will step on third. He'll round third and score. And Hernandez to third. Mendez is crossing home plate as we speak, and Martins with an RBI double. The Mustangs now lead 11-3 in the 7th. Second double the game, second RBI double the game for James Martins. And here's River Barton. So Barton will now bat his first plate appearance of the game for the Mustangs. Yeah, it doesn't matter how many runs they score here, but in terms of inning limitation, this is the 7th. Swung on and popped up in the infield in foul territory on the third base side, and that ball is secured for the first out. Yeah, that was caught by Mackelberg, who's now at third. As they made some defensive changes, 1 down.
Number 22, Brett Anderson.
Wes Anderson will now bat for the Mustangs. Popped out, tripled in 2, struck out and doubled. The pitch, and he swings and hits it in the air into foul territory. Mackelberg again will make the catch. And there's 2 down. Josh Langford not happy about that approach there, based on his reaction. 2 pop-ups in the very first pitch. Those to the third baseman. Austin Cosman walked in his only plate appearance. 2 on, 2 out. And the offering. And he swings. He pops it up. Foul territory. The catcher, Gutierrez, is going to make the one-handed catch. And Josh Langford cannot believe it. He throws his cap on the ground up the third base side. The Mustangs swing at 3 first pitches in a row. And they're all weak pop-ups, and the inning is over. The Mustangs do score a run here in the 7th inning. 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. It's Fort Morgan 11, Englewood 3 on B106 and B106.com. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Fort Morgan leads Englewood 11-3. James Barnes will throw to the 2, 3, and 4 hitters, Tristan Cisneros, Mario Vega, and Gerardo Gutierrez. Check that. That's Miguel Montez to begin the 7th. There's the wind and the pitch. Fastball goes well inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Barnes gets the sign from Schneider, and the pitch. Swing and a miss, and a fastball belt high, and the count is level. At 1 ball and 1 strike. Accidents or illness can strike at any time, day or night. When they do, every second counts. And as a level 3 trauma center, Colorado Plains Medical Center can handle any kind of emergency. Colorado Plains Medical Center bringing quality care to the community. Swing and a miss at another fastball. It's 1-2. Here's the wind and the offering. Curveball, that is a called strike 3. Mustang pitching with 12 strikeouts in the game. There's 1 down in the 7th. They'll send up Mario Vega.
Number 5, Mario Vega.
Barnes had that curveball working very nicely. And the offering. And that curveball is right there on the inner half. That's strike 1. Vega in the game's 1 for 2, hit by a pitch single and struck out. He swings and fouls it off to the left. No balls and 2 strikes. To the second pitcher used by Englewood in this game. Here's the wind and offering. Curveball lined up the middle for a base hit on a hanging curveball. Vega with a second hit of the game. And that'll send up Gerardo Gutierrez, who's 1 for 3, grounded out, struck out, and singled.
Number 2, Gerardo Gutierrez.
That's 5 base hits in the game for Englewood. Barnes gets the sign. And the pitch. Swing and a miss and a bender. It's 0-1. Mustangs have not turned a double play in this game. They could end it with 1. A double play was turned by Englewood. And the offering. Swung on, and that is hit sharply and caught by Mendez. Throw to first, double play, and the game is over. As the runner, Vegas, doubled up. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left. Final score, Fort Morgan 11, Englewood 3, a 2-minute break on B106 and B106.com. Welcome to the Mustang Post-Game Show, brought to you by High Plains Bank and Wiggins. The friendly staff at High Plains Bank and Wiggins can assist you with a home loan, equity line of credit, commercial loan, or checking account. To receive hometown service in a higher plane, visit High Plains Bank today. The Mustangs win the game 11-3, 11 runs, 13 hits, 3 errors by Fort Morgan, 10 left on base, 3 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors, 7 left on base. And David Mendez picks up the win going 5 innings. The loss went to Eric Admansah. Time of the game, 2 hours and 11 minutes, and the Mustangs broke out on top as they scored 5 runs in the opening frame. And they benefited from an error, and then things really got going for Fort Morgan, as we'll run through the numbers here coming up momentarily. They had an 8-1 lead after only 2 innings, but they did get the benefits, as I mentioned, of an error. Then James Barnes with an RBI double, 2-run single by Nissel Franco, and then Jacob Frick drove in a run with a double. That made it 5-0. 3 more runs were tallied by the Mustangs in the second inning. 2-run triple by Wes Anderson gave Fort Morgan a 7-1 lead, then a sac fly by Franco driving in his 3rd run. made it 8-1. The Mustangs would add a couple of more runs, and again, they would win the game this afternoon from Englewood by a final score of 11-3. The Mustangs in winning improved to 11-0 in Colorado 7 play, and they are now sitting at 18-0 overall. Englewood 8-6-1 overall, 5-5 in league play. As I mentioned, Franco drove in 3 runs, 2 RBIs apiece for Martins and Wes Anderson. Mustangs are back in action coming up tomorrow. The regular season finale at 10:30 in the morning right here on B106 and B106.com against this very same Englewood team. Outstanding job by our sound engineer and producer, Trenton Klimper. I'm John Beltran. The final score from Harry Wisefield and Englewood, Fort Morgan 11, Englewood 3, all right here on B106 and B106.com.